Hey friends, happy new moon. We're here. I am recording 2 weeks in advance. I finally have my act together. It's funny because it's the Leo full moon as I'm recording this, and Leo is the actor. So this Leo has her act together. I don't know how good that wink was, but we are rolling with it. What is happening? It's a new moon in Aquarius. This is an interesting and dynamic, and um, it's going to be a new moon to remember. That's what I have to say about it. The energies are hard to put words to, but I'm going to do my best. And I overall like this new moon. I think it's very powerful. It's also an eclipse. So typically with eclipses, I don't recommend manifestation as much. You can still set intentions, you can still, take stock of everything. But eclipse energy is a lot more volatile, and it's not typically the time where you're in the driver's seat as much as Jesus is taking the wheel, if you know what I'm saying. So, this is a time to roll with the punches and see what is precipitating in your reality. Not the time as much to feel like you have to take charge and know what direction you're going, because eclipses are times of redirection, and it's actually on track for you to go into an eclipse going one direction and come out with a slight pivot or a major pivot. That's the nature of these things. So let us look at what is going on in Aquarius for this eclipse. We have Mars at 19 degrees, and then we have the Sun and Moon at 28 degrees Aquarius. This means that these planets are co-present. So this eclipse in Aquarius has a very strong Mars presence. Mars is the planet of action, initiation, war, and it can be violent, and it can also be very stimulating and motivating. So we are likely going to see a little bit of both. Ideally, for your personal life, this is a pivot point that really starts and initiates and brings a new chapter into your life that is something that you want. Do your best to align and make good choices and move in the direction of what you want versus in the direction of what you don't want. And you can harness this Mars energy to your benefit. Also, there's one more planet in Aquarius, and that's Pluto. This is the planet of death and rebirth, the planet that really is very intimately connected to crisis and things that cause us to really recognize what's important. Pluto's the planet that can put us in modes of survival where, amazing feats can happen. You didn't know you had the strength until you were challenged and put in the position where you had to show up with the strength. So Pluto can bring major transformations and pivots in our life. So that being co-present in Aquarius too, at the time of this new moon solar eclipse, yeah, it's kind of a big deal. I don't think we're going to come out of this next 6 month chapter the same at all, individually and collectively. So just be ready for a little bit of a wild ride for the next 6 months. Could be great, could also be challenging, could also have us question everything. But there's definitely momentum. We are moving forward. whether we like it or not. Another thing in this chart, that's Aquarius. We also have a few signs or planets in Pisces, the sign of Pisces. And something noteworthy is Venus in Pisces. She's happy there. That's her place of exaltation. Venus in Pisces is conjoined the North Node, which is what makes eclipses is the lunar nodes. Venus being on the North Node is a very strong message and a very intense direction or redirection for us towards Venus and Pisces energy. Venus is the planet of love, relationships, pleasure, beauty. Pisces is the sign of oneness, connection, empathy, God. If one sign represents the universe, the greater force that connects us all, I'd say it's Pisces. So Venus on the North Node in Pisces, very strong direction towards surrender into oneness, very strong direction towards connection to a higher power, connection to all that exists. And because it's an eclipse and because there are some challenging pieces to it, a lot of us may be put in a position where we really are forced to surrender to the greater good, forced to trust the process where maybe we were clinging on and trying to control things. There's a very strong push for us to lean in and enjoy this connection to spirits and creativity and empathy that Venus in Pisces is calling for. So I like that. It's going to show up different for everyone, but I think this is a good time to let your intuition be a guide. Let your creativity come forth. Whatever creative endeavor you do where it feels like you're channeling and just bringing in this creative force energy, this life force energy, lean into that. Go for it. Something also interesting that is connected to that intuition, that channeling, that spiritual connection is we have Saturn and Neptune conjoining at the time of this new moon eclipse. Not casual. It's kind of a big deal. This only happens, I don't know the exact time frame. I could look it up, but it's decades and decades and decades that a Saturn Neptune conjunction happens. So not that casual. Decades and decades and decades for Saturn conjunct Neptune in Aries. That's more what I'm talking about. Saturn moves through the planets every, I don't know, but I'm not a math girly. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Saturn's in a sign for every 2.5-ish years. So multiply that by 12. That's about how long a Saturn cycle is. Anyway, don't come for me, please. Leave me alone. This Saturn-Neptune conjunction has a lot of implications. You can look up videos on that. It's a deep thing to dive into. What I'll say about this happening at the time of the eclipse, there's going to be a dissolution of structures that once seemed very strong and long-lasting. There is this blending and fading of what's real and what's not. So illusions are strong here. Saturn being conjunct Neptune, what we thought was strong may actually become known as an illusion, or we may see what is actually false in what is happening, that we really thought was solid. Like some things that we thought were really solid in our lives and in the systems may have their moment where it's like, wait, that wasn't true, or that's not going to last and stand the test of time like I thought it was. Interesting. And because these two planets are in Aries, it could get a little violent. I mean, I don't want to say that, but it might. On a more positive side, it could be passionate and motivational and engaging and really get us fired up in a way that we need to get fired up. But it's not a casual conjunction. Like there is something in the air at the time of this eclipse. And eclipses set the tone for the next 6 months, specifically solar eclipses, new moon eclipses. So we're entering a new chapter that has the imprint of all of these energies. So if you were opening a book and turn to chapter 4, like this chapter is the Saturn Neptune conjunction. This chapter is Aquarian energy with Mars and Pluto. This chapter is Venus conjunct the North Node. There's a certain storyline that's going to play out, and it's going to be juicy. It's going to be juicy. I can't say that it will be fun and easy the whole time, but definitely things in our lives are going to be unrecognizable after 6 months. This is just a powerhouse of an eclipse and new moon. So I've heard some astrologers say that they're not super excited about it. I could agree with that. But depending on where it lands in your chart and really what's going on with you, this could be an exciting pivot point. I'm pretty excited myself. We also have a Mercury retrograde coming up, so something to keep in mind. We're just like a week out from a Mercury retrograde in Pisces at this point. So you can look up videos on Mercury retrogrades too, or ChatGPT or whatever you want to do. But the retrograde is going to have us take a few steps back to move forward. So there is this new energy coming forth. There is this, momentum in a new direction. But for a few weeks following this new moon, we're going to be reworking some things. We're going to be revisiting and taking some steps in the backward direction in order to move forward again. So don't expect to be hitting the ground running coming out of this eclipse. Things will get started that will hit the ground running eventually, but for a little bit, we're going to be in retrograde territory. Things will be getting delayed. Challenges will arise, and we'll work through it, and it's going to do what it needs to do to slow us down, have us reconsider things, and get redirected. One more thing in the chart that I want to say. This new moon eclipse is square Uranus in Taurus. Expect the unexpected. That's what I'm going to say about that. Not the easiest aspect or transit, but we will get change, perhaps revolution, perhaps some major upgrades. It just might come with some shocks and some really unexpected plot twists, with the planet Uranus being right there. Should be interesting. You can look in your chart and see where Aquarius and Taurus is, and that will show you what area of life is really getting hit hard with this unexpected change and upgrade. Um, should be interesting. Should be interesting. Like I said, this is not just a nothing new moon eclipse. Like there is some major shifts happening in these next few months. So do your best to align with the changes that need to happen. Let go of what you need to let go of in order to move forward. And don't be scared to show up and make shiz happen. Like, this might be the time to really stand your ground and really show up for yourself and other people. Who knows? This could be it, fam. That's all I want to say. Happy solar eclipse in Aquarius. Yeah, get ready for your new life to start to take form. And, ride the waves for now. Eclipse seasons are, like I said, times to let Jesus take the wheel. Don't try to grip the wheel too tight and control things and make things go exactly the direction you want them to go. You may find by the end of this eclipse season that the redirection is actually way better than the direction you were trying to go before, and it actually makes a lot more sense, and it's even more in alignment with who you are and where you want to go. So take care, do your best, give yourself space, give yourself the pats on the back that you need and the hugs and whatever you need to get through these perhaps choppy waters. We will get to the other side. Enjoy the ride. Take care. See y'all.